Oh, hello there, Outliers. Niiamah Ashong here, and thank you so much for letting us be a part of your journey here today. We are here with an Outliers Edge conversation with Alicia Torres, and I am very, very excited for you to get to know her and to see more about the way that she is building her game out into the world right now. Alicia, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making the time for this conversation. I love for Outliers to get to know you. Would you mind sharing more about you and the game you're currently playing?
Well, thank you for having me. Yes, hello everyone. I am Alicia. I'm the host of I Am More Than Enough, period. I started my podcast about 2 years ago. As you can see, the name, it's I Am More Than Enough. Years ago, when I was younger, I never thought that I was enough. And during the reason I made this podcast because I want people to know that they are they are enough and they are more than enough. Period. During my younger years, I went through foster care, and I was in a family who just didn't want me. They just wanted the money. So I had a lot of issues like growing up, such as daddy issues, not setting boundaries, people pleasing. And it took me years to realize that I was doing that.
Alicia, I think I'm excited for this conversation to see like what you're talking about is like near to my heart. Like underneath Outliers Edge, this is a movement of belonging, right?
Hmm.
And how we can belong more to ourselves. I say our mission is to bring together a truly inclusive and empowered world. And when I hear the I am more than enough, period, a couple different things flow out for me. Do you mind if I share it?
Share it.
All right, cool. The first one is like, is the more than, right? I have this thing where I listen to people's words and I take them seriously. It's one of my it's a blessing and a curse both for me and for other people, right? And so when you put in the words more than, I love it because it speaks to the edge of it all. It speaks to the outlier component of it all. It says it's not like you don't have to limit yourself to simply being enough, right? If you're
Yes.
like if that's where you are, great, but know that there's more than that available, and if that's how you feel, like own it, right?
Right.
So
Hmm.
that was one thing that came up for me. And then the second thing is that
I
period at
knew
the
you
end.
was going to say that.
Like outlines, we're just getting to know each other, but like you come what made why do you think that sticks out for me?
Well, for me, I put period because I had to put a stamp on it.
Hmm. Hmm. What does that stamp represent for you?
That I realize I am more than enough because, like I said earlier, I never thought I was enough. But by me putting more and period, I realized that yes, I am more than enough.
It's
And
cool
so
because
are others.
yeah, like I get that, and I'm like, oh, Alicia owns her outlier. That's my language for it, right? But like you own who you are. You're not. It's not just like you are accepting who you are, right?
Right.
I am more than enough. Might have been like I accept that,
Right.
Well, like period is like, and you like get it, like understand, like there's no wiggle room. We
Right.
don't need to have a conversation around it. It just is what it is, you
That's
know.
right.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I love that there. And we talk about owning who you truly are in the work that we do, because that's one of the things that like help us like shine out as outliers. So I appreciate that you bring that in and uh, you make it visible. You live it out loud right off the bat.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, because you know what? For a long time, I didn't know my worth.
Yeah.
And finally, years later, and just working on myself, and I'm saying to myself, you know what? I'm worth it. I love myself.
So take us here then, if you don't mind. Like, let's get to see a bit more of your journey. Because you're like for years, like you didn't know your worth. Like, I actually want to start off like in like the more recent years than in the past because you've given us a bit there, but
Yeah.
and you know, I think it'd be really interesting to look at this from someone that's like recently, hey, I'm an adult and I'm still working through this here. So can you take us to like a place recently? Maybe let us know about like when you started to really come on this and recognize this for yourself. Like, wait, I am more than enough. Tell us about how life was beforehand.
Okay, so about 10 years ago, I got a divorce. And I was just saying to myself, why is it I keep meeting the same kind of men? So I was blaming everybody around me, my ex-husband, ex boyfriends, without looking at myself. So what I did was after my divorce, I just started working on myself and diving deep into myself and getting to know Alicia. And through my journey, I seen some things that I didn't like and that I was doing like in relationships, such as putting people first, people pleasing, not setting boundaries. And I really had to say enough is enough and just started loving on me.
So, like, help me see here, and I think for us outliers, we all have our things here, but I'd like to look at like was there a moment where this occurred for you, where there like a series of things that got you to say, all right, like actually, you know what? I'm gonna leave that question behind because I
Okay.
think that like it's a little bit unique for each person, like what got them there. I think the thing that I'm really curious about is okay, you like you're seeing this, right? And you're making a decision to say enough is enough. I'm very curious as to like how you didn't like slide back, right? So tell me about like those first few days, the first few months after you actually made this choice. 'Cause I think like that's a really vulnerable time as we're
Mhm.
taking on this new identity. So you mind sharing with us a little bit about that?
Yes, of course. So during my divorce, I just said, you know what? It's not working. Whatever I'm doing is not working. I stopped dating because I didn't want anything to interfere of me working on myself. And I started looking at motivational speakers, reading books, pouring positive energy, saying positive things to me because as a foster child, you're always searching for love. And that's what I did on my life. I had a mask on, and people that I have known for years never knew the real me because I didn't let that be shown. So I just decided enough is enough. And I am going to start loving me. And that's what I did.
So you talk about this mask here, and that people didn't really know the real you. Like, tell me about then you're like enough is enough, and like I'm imagining like the mask gets like pulled off and it's like surprise, it was me the whole time. It has the same face, but underneath everything has changed. Like walk us through like how like your first couple of interactions with people, like how did you start showing up differently for the people who've known you for years, potentially decades? How did you start showing up for like then, and tell us a little bit about those kind of interactions.
Okay, so 3 years ago, I lost my vision. So I'm blind in my right eye and I have 60% vision in my left eye. That's when I started and had to really look deep in myself and because I was scared. I didn't know what was going to happen to me. I'm 48. I didn't know what was going to happen. I worked in the healthcare for 30 years. My life changed drastically. I was single, and I'm saying, who will want me? I had to build my self-esteem up. And really, to tell you the truth, that's when I Am More Than Enough, period, podcast came, because I took the mask off and I said, this is me. Then I started doing my episodes of um, just different things. One of my episodes, I talk about how I lost my vision. I was depressed. I had to really work on myself.
You know,
So,
as you're talking here, I kind of want to get into the podcast and like components of it here, right? Because you talk about going like on your own personal journey and saying like, hey, I need to invest in myself, and then somehow that translated into a podcast for you. So like, what was the journey to that? How did that come to be?
so in my intro, I said I'm taking the mask off because I didn't care what people say. I wanted to get my story out there to let people know that they are not alone. So I just decided to do a podcast and tell my story.
Nice. And like like when you got to the podcast in time, what was the thing that like helped you say like, oh, okay, now I can actually go about and do this versus like, I don't know, just not.
Well, let me tell you, it
Yeah.
took a lot. I was going back and
Okay,
forth,
there. Tell us about that.
because I am a perfectionist. You know,
Yeah.
I wanted everything to be perfect, but I just decided, no, I'm going to put it out there, regardless how it sounds. I just did it. And each episode I did, I felt my shoulders getting lighter and lighter because I'm telling my truth.
This is interesting. Okay, so I'm glad I paused there because when you said getting your shoulders lighter and lighter, I was like, oh yeah, because like you're getting more practice in there. It's like, no, 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 that wasn't it. The real thing
Mhm.
about this was you actually telling your truth out there. Tell us more about
Yes,
that.
yes. Um, I had to tell my truth because I wanted people that's in my life to know me, not just the outside. I want people to really truly know me. Um, I say I have known people for 30 years, and they don't know anything about my family because I never told anyone that I was a foster child or what I went through with my adopted family. I kept that on a hush because I was embarrassed and I didn't want people to ask me questions. So I just started my podcast and said, you know what? Here is me. This is me.
What have been some of the benefits that you found from doing it? Like how like as you look back now compared to where you had been before, like how do you see things working out for you? How yeah, what were some of the benefits you got?
Well, some of the things I got good feedback. A lot of people I have known and don't know were saying, "Oh, I didn't know," or some of the things that you say um, is that's what I do. And I never knew this is why, because it stems from my childhood. So I have been getting good feedback on it.
How did you like because if I'm hearing you, when you took off the mask, like now all of a sudden like people can actually see you, right?
Mhm,
And you're out there, you're telling them your story, like real behind it all, right?
mhm.
Um, I'm curious with you, like in the process of being in the vulnerabilities of it all, like how did that like line up for you? How did you continue to keep hit and record, or did you just like record everything on one day and you say, okay, I'm gonna chop this up and get it out later on? Like how did you continue to show up for yourself in that regard?
Well, remember, Like I said, I've been on a healing journey for 10 years. So things were coming up. And as they were coming up, that was part of my episode. Like, whoa, okay. One of the things is birthdays. I never celebrated my birthday, and I didn't know why. I have young adults. My kids are older, and they always, Mom, what are you doing for your birthday? I'm like, it's just another day. But I never knew why I was doing that until one day it just hit me. My parents never celebrated my birthday. It was just another day. So little things like that um, made me realize that I need to talk about this.
Yeah, I'm feeling you on that. What if there's any outlier who's listening right now who like might be in a similar position or is looking to like get some, yeah, just to make a change, what would you say to that outlier?
I say do it. People need to hear your story. You will feel so much better. You will feel lighter. You will feel like you helping someone. And I want people to know that they are not alone. Tell your story.
You know, Alicia, I appreciate you. Like as we're having the conversation, I'm like, I think we might be there. Like this is where I feel like you're really bringing things up. Well, you know what? Before we get to that point, tell us about where things are now. So we've looked backwards, right? Like I almost missed this whole part. Uh, let's look ahead. Like what are you building? How are things looking up for you right now?
So, like I said, 3 years ago, I lost my vision. And during that time, I said when my youngest graduate, I was going to move out of state. When this happened, it was like a halt. But I said, I'm still going to move out of state. I'm still going to do because that was the plan. And I said, I'm not going to let anything stop me. I moved out of state. I started my podcast. I'm a motivational speaker. I volunteer with amazing organizations. I still live life and love life. At one time, I thought that life was over when I lost my vision. I am doing more than I ever did.
An interesting way of things working out that way, huh?
Right.
Uh,
I'm really living in my purpose.
yeah. Uh, I can feel it. I can feel it from
Hmm.
you. Um, so you got the podcast going. You made moves in your life. What's the next for you?
The next is writing a book.
Ah, tell us a little bit more about that.
Uh, the book is going to be about of course, my past, but about my future. I don't want to say too much about it.
Okay. All right, cool. I got it. I'm like, we're gonna get some exclusive scoops here, right? Um, no, I appreciate it. I appreciate you, Alicia. Like, I want to say for any outlier that's listening that like wants to continue down the journey with you, what's the best way for them to go and do that?
Oh, they can go to my social media. Um, it's I am more than enough, period. And that's period spell out on YouTube. I am more than enough, period. Period spell out on Instagram, underscore after each word. They could join me on the OWL app, and that's OWWLL, where they can speak to me and many others. Just use my reference code, and that is W644625. And the OWL app will give them $10 to speak to me. And They can, I'm on Facebook as Alicia Torr.
Wow. Well, we have like I appreciate this year and Outliers. I have this request of you. In every conversation we have, I believe there's something really important for a person in your world. And so my ask here is, if you're listening to this conversation, there's something about Alicia that really resonates with you, to do one of two things, or actually to do both. One is to follow her. Go into her space, go into her world, right? Let's make that happen. And then two is to share this with one person that you know that you feel would really benefit from it. I think these conversations, I like to look at them as gifts. And when we're able to slow down a bit, we're able to like share this gift over with someone else. Right. And so my ask here is that you think about one person in your world who would really benefit from hearing the conversation that Alicia and I were having, and let them know that you were thinking of them, and share this episode with them as a gift to them. Right. That's part of our one person, one conversation at a time initiative. And I really do believe that some big waves will be able to come from all this, you know? So Alicia, as we wrap up for today, what's a message that you would have for any outlier that's listening to this? What's one thing that you would like to leave here as what we call an outsight?
Well, I want people to know is be you, tell your truth because you can help someone by just telling your truth. And you're not alone.
Well, Alicia, I appreciate you making the time for this year, and for telling your truth here, and bringing it over here. Um, yeah, I'm excited for where the journey goes. Outliers, go check out I Am More Than Enough, period. The podcast and all the different platforms, and we'll just continue growing with each other. All right.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being you.